Hello, 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 everyone. Oh my gosh, it's been quite a week. It's been quite a week, y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. This is probably gonna be a slightly shorter stream than usual because I realized I probably need to get some rest before I have to do taxes tomorrow. I'm gonna need a little bit of energy that I can summon to deal with having to file taxes tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's my least favorite time of year, and it's back again. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fine. For those of you who mercifully don't live in the United States, we unfortunately have to file our own taxes. The government doesn't do it for us, even though they know how much money I owe them. I have to spend like an entire evening just like filling out numbers that they know already. It's so annoying. Anyway, so I figured for my own sanity, I should probably like rest. As much as I want to just draw, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should take it easy. So back at it again, HR block. You know, you say that, but like, okay, so I used HR block for a couple of years because there was one year where I was like, oh, I'm gonna file it without using one of these scummy tax agencies. I'm gonna file it myself. I'm gonna fill out the physical papers and I'm gonna mail it in. And that took me 3 days and it was the worst. Never again. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate that they have made it so complicated that they've won. So anyway, I used HR block for a couple years and then they started wanting to charge me for all this extra stuff and I got really pissed about it. So then I switched to TurboTax and I don't like these companies. This is an sponsor segment. I hate that they lobby my government to make it so I have to use them. But use them I will, begrudgingly. Okay. Yeah, no, we've already lost it, and I've immediately started ranting. I thought I would have at least like 10 or 15 minutes, but we're just starting off strong. Anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome to my definitely not rant-filled stream. You know, it's totally fine. We're doing all right. I published a video yesterday. Happy about that. I hope that was helpful for those of you who play Blue Archive. Can't have a Yumie stream without a rant. You know, very fair. And yeah, I actually oh, thank God, I got this screen tracker to work. It was being, okay, so I love it. It's called Spud Tablet. It's fantastic. Every once in a while, it fights me a little bit, and that is okay. I've come to understand it. But I couldn't get the fun little, like, mini hand to work. Normally, I have a little mini hand in front of my tablet, which is really adorable, but I couldn't get it to work. Maybe next time. Oh, man. Oh, my word. Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, tax paying in the US is annoying because, like, they make you fill out all these dumb forms, and it's much easier if you use these tax companies to do it, because otherwise you spend 3 days filling out papers and getting progressively angrier at all of the things that you have to fill out. That was terrible. I guess I can say I've done it, though. I've done it once. Never again, though. Never again. But yeah, Valentine's Day was fantastic. Bear made scallops. I love scallops. I love seafood. So Bear made some scallops and we had that. They were extremely tasty. I realized I forgot to take a picture because I just like, I leapt upon them like a wild animal. I was so excited. And I'm like, oh shit, I should have taken some pictures. So I'm sorry, there were no pictures to be had. But it was very tasty. It was very good. I'm very glad that, I don't know, I'm glad that y'all enjoyed the Blue Archive video. I figured that would be a fun thing for Valentine's Day. Just completely not related whatsoever. Oh my word. But yeah. Is this drawing Frieren doing mage taxes? But, fascinating question. I actually, this is a thing that I've done, oh gosh. Has it been the last 3 years? Maybe 4 years I've done this. I really like compiling all of my favorite series from the year into one central drawing. I think it's really fun. I get to feature all of them together. So this year, what I've done is it's Frieren as kind of the center because I love Frieren a lot. It's a very, very good series. And then I've got, she's looking through documentation and mage tomes and other things that come from the other series. So I figure I can kind of highlight some of these real quick. Some of these series I've talked about in some of the seasonal anime, roundup reviews that we've done, but a couple of them, because I didn't start doing that until the spring summer season, there's a couple of winter shows I actually haven't talked about at all, so I figured this would be good to talk about them. I've kind of marked out where everything is going to be. Y'all get an insight into my questionable handwriting. Look at this. Look at this dark gathering over here. Look at that K. I don't know what's going on with that. There's some questionable things that are happening. The faster that I start writing, the more ridiculous and slanted everything gets. So this is my questionable handwriting on these. This is Skip and Loafer. I'm realizing I do this weird thing with my Ks. Apparently I don't care about them. I just slash a couple of lines together and that's a K. It works. Okay, but let me talk about all these series really quick. So Frieren, if y'all haven't heard me talk about Frieren, it is a goddamn masterpiece. It is not just one of the best shows I've watched in years, it's one of the best shows I've ever watched. I'm really excited for when the series is done because I'm going to go and devour all of the manga. Bear has actually read the entire thing and has been poking me to read it for a long time, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And that's going to change. I'm going to sit down and make sure that I actually get through all of it because yeah, there's a bunch of manga that's on my backlog, and I cannot believe that Frieren was one of them. So yeah, anyway, Frieren is really good. I enjoy it quite a bit. Oh my god, also that makes me so happy that y'all enjoyed the Lunar New Year stream. Oh, that makes me so happy. That's wonderful. That's exactly what I was hoping for, because I think that sometimes, especially if you've been celebrating something for a while, and you just kind of take it at face value, it can be really cool to learn about all of the history behind things. Or if you've never heard of something at all, it can be really cool to see, oh, this is a really important holiday for a lot of people. This is really cool. So yeah, that's wonderful. We need a Yumie holiday calendar. We really do. Oh boy, I actually have been compiling a bunch of snake holidays because there are a bunch of snake holidays. It's not just the Tsuchinoko festival. There's a bunch of them. I'm quite excited. There's a lot of snakes from folklore that I think will be really fun to talk about. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay, I'm getting distracted again. Okay, so Frieren is really good. So she's the centerpiece here. I'm also, I don't know, I'm very happy with how she turned out. I love how fluffy her hair is. I had a lot of fun drawing her, so I'm very happy. Also, I drew this hand, I think 3 or 4 times. Drawing hands is really, really hard. I don't like it, but I'm happy that this one turned out okay. It was questionable for a couple of goes, but it's better now. It's slightly better now. So anyway, it's acceptable. Okay, other shows. So 100 Girlfriends. I highlighted it as a Kusa anime, but it's just because it's a harem anime. It's really good. It's it just makes you happy every time. You root for everyone. The animation is hysterical. It's one of the best comedies that I've ever watched. Gigantic fan. Of course it's going on this list. It's going right under Frieren's hand here. So yeah, 100 Girlfriends is going right here. Then we've got Apothecary Diaries. I have absolutely loved Apothecary Diaries. It has been so good week to week. This second core that has been going for this season has gone to some really like good but dark places, and I have really liked learning more about Mao Mao. I've really liked learning more about Jinshi-sama. It's been really good. I would highly recommend it. It's kind of like it's a good mixture of like learning a bit about history, learning a bit about medicine, and like solving mysteries. So it's a little bit like Sherlock Holmes-esque meets like compelling historical drama, but it's also really funny. It's kind of got the best of all worlds. Oh man. Okay, Boku Yaba is also going here, front and center. Oh, Boku Yaba's really good. I have actually been reading the Boku Yaba manga for many years, and the anime is incredible. Like, oh, y'all, the anime is really good. They've been doing such a good job with all the characters. I think they've just nailed like so much of what makes the series charming. It's a really lovely coming of age and romance story. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. It just gets better and better, which I don't know how that's possible. It's already fantastic. So yeah, it's really, really good. Okay, besides that, some others that we've got front and center. Saint Cecilia. I loved Saint Cecilia. It was really good. It was like such a perfect slice of life show that was really relaxed. It was very charming. I loved the music. I loved the characters. I always felt so good afterwards. In fact, I loved it so much that one of my emotes is based off of Saint Cecilia. So, it had to go here. Of course it had to go here. So Saint Cecilia will be featured on this book over here. Then on the opposite side, still kind of slice of lifey, but like just very, very well written, is Skip and the Loafer. You might also see it written as Skip Toe Loafer, which is just Skip and Loafer. It's an extremely good series about a bunch of high schoolers that are like growing up and learning more about themselves and like just developing good relationships, which I think is something that like I feel like sometimes it can be very tempting for authors to throw their characters into situations where they manufacture like problems between them. This show kind of feels like the opposite of that. Like any problems that come up, I'm really impressed with how the characters deal with them. It's very mature, very like real world applicable advice for how to like navigate through the world, how to be kind to yourself, how to be kind to other people, and like none of the characters are perfect. I would even argue there's a couple that like might still fall in the category of like, I don't want to call them villains, but like characters who are trying to disrupt the happiness of everyone around them. And even them, I think they're very well written. So Skip and Loafer is a very heartwarming series that's good to watch. You'll probably cry a little bit. It's really good. So yeah, I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. Also, the OP is so good. It's so good, y'all. And every time I watch it, I just want to start dancing. And that's a good thing. That's always a good thing when I want to dance along with an OP. Oh my god. Fantastic. Then up here, completely different vein is Dark Gathering, which is one of the best horror anime I've watched. I was really impressed with how they handled a lot of topics. It was very Monster of the Week, where like from one episode to the next, they would be dealing with a different supernatural problem, but it always felt really tense. And boy howdy, it actually got really disturbing, especially in the second core. So if you're a fan of horror, or if you're looking for some good horror, I would highly recommend Dark Gathering. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's been a while since I've had some good horror anime, so that was refreshing and unsettling. It was good. Sounds like adult Scooby-Doo. Oh man, like, whoo! yeah, just crank up the rating on Scooby-Doo, like go like R, like full R. And it will be good. You do have like fun sidekicks. You've got some very interesting characters in it. But yeah, no, it's very good. I would highly recommend it if you're into horror. If you're not into horror and you just want something light to watch, Otaku Elf is wonderful. I know that sounds like it might be questionable, but the reason it's called Otaku Elf is because it is about an elf who is an otaku. Like, it's a reverse isekai, I guess. It's an elf who was transported to our world, and she's treated like a god. But really, she just like lives a really long time, and she can talk to spirits and things like that. But like, it's largely just a ceremonial position. And in the modern era, she has come to be super obsessed with anime and collecting figurines and online shopping. It's really charming. It's extremely funny. It's really fun too. If you ever wanted to learn about like Edo period Japan, the author is clearly very passionate about this because that was the time period that the elf was actually transported to Japan. So she ends up telling a lot of stories from that time period and then comparing it to the present. And I don't know, it's really nice. It's one of those shows that's great to wind down with in an evening. So yeah, it's really good. Very, very good. Yeah, exactly. If you have infinite time, you might as well find something to occupy yourself with. Exactly. Oh, and no worries, Clay. No worries whatsoever. Your tardiness has been forgiven. You've been busy in the Edo period. Totally fine. Oh my word. And then on the back shelves, we're going to have a couple of things as well. Over here on the side is going to be Tandemo Skill. Listen, if there's an anime that does like food exploration well, there's a very good chance I'm going to like it. I like food anime quite a bit. I love food anime, and that's what Tandemo Skill is. It's an isekai, but it's like a food isekai. This man gets transported to an alternate world, and the ability that he is able to have is that he can still purchase things from his old world. So he's able to get like cookware or like seasonings and things like that. And he ends up just having fun cooking his way through his new alternate world. And it's actually really fun to watch. The animation is really good. I love all of the characters that he meets along the way. There's a gigantic murder doggo who I love to death. Big fan of the friendly murder doggo. He's like honestly the star of the show. It's extremely, extremely fun. So anyway, that was one from the winter season that I didn't get to talk about, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So I don't know, it probably says something about me as a person that like I loved watching a show about someone in their 30s just like cooking their way through the world. But I feel like that's super reasonable. I think that it's good. Speaking of mid-30s isekai, Saito-san came out the same season, and it's just really good, y'all. Like, surprisingly good. Like, it's actually got really, really well choreographed fights. It's also just like really fun world building. It's a handyman who is teleported to an alternate world, and he's able to like help them with a bunch of mundane tasks. Like, he joins up with this adventuring party and is able to like help them open up chests or avoid traps or do a bunch of things. And it's actually like so good that there's like a whole arc that happens in it, and I was a sobbing mess at the end of it. Like, I didn't expect to come away crying from a show about a handyman who is in an alternate universe, but it was very well written. The characters were really, really good. And there is a lot of humorous moments, some very serious moments. There's romance, there's betrayal, there's all sorts of things that happen in it. So yeah, Saito-san's really good. I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't watched it already. And let's see, the last two I wanted to mention, Mashla is just a good comedy. It's just some good comedy. I enjoy it. It's very silly. It's about a high schooler who lives in a world where everyone is supposed to be able to use magic, but he can't. And he is trying to prove that you don't need magic to get through the world. And he is literally just swole. He is so incredibly swole that he breaks the fabric of reality. And it's... if that sounds like something that would make you laugh, you should go check it out. There's also a lot of cream puff eating, which is great. Cream puffs are very tasty. So yeah, super funny. And then finally, my personal guilty pleasure is Bofuri. I love Bofuri. Bofuri is great, and Bofuri got a second season this year, and I was very happy about it. I wouldn't say that Bofuri is like an amazing series, but I love it. I love Bofuri so much. It's a show about a girl who gets into VR gaming, and she doesn't want her character to get hurt, so she just invests all of her stats into defense, and she ends up just being the tankiest character. Like, the entire series is about her, like, making choices that the developers of this VR game never thought anyone would make, and then they have to, like, rewrite code around her, and it's charming. It's very funny. It's... I don't know. It's a guilty pleasure for sure, because I don't know that like the writing is incredible, and like things definitely get like a little wild in the second season as far as like pacing of the story. But I enjoy it still. So if that sounds like that would be fun, I would recommend checking it out. Also, there's a bunch of really cute animal companions, and I like a bunch of the characters, so Bofuri is good. Became the tank. She doesn't want to get hurt. She's just like me, for real. You know, actually, that's an interesting way of thinking of it, because it is like the VR game. Thankfully, it's the stakes aren't quite as high as with SAO. If you die in the dream, you don't die in real life. Thankfully, there's none of that going on, but it is like very much like a different type of power fantasy with cute girls and even cuter animal companions. Oh, I love that turtle. I love her turtle so much. I love her turtle Syrup. It's great because the main character names herself Maple, and then her animal companion is named Syrup, which is great. Maple Syrup. That's perfect. I don't know. No notes. 10 out of 10. Oh, my word. Oh, that's a great question. She may have built physical toughness, but can she handle emotional attacks? I don't know, actually. I don't know. Thankfully, she hasn't been put in a situation where she's had to deal with that, but like, oh, I'm worried for her now. She's physically very tanky, but I don't know. Emotional damage is pretty devastating. Oh man, yeah, no, she does become so broken that she becomes an unclassified final boss. There's like a couple of player versus player battles that happen in it, and it's delightful. I hope it gets a season 3. I already want more of it. It's just so good. Oh god. But anyway, so this is like the rough position of where everything is gonna go. So I'm just showing y'all like this is the rough draft for where everything is gonna go. And then yeah, I figure I'll just color in some stuff, and y'all will be able to see when this is actually done. Like, this will all actually be transformed into a bunch of different stuff. My plan for a lot of these, I like picking like things that are kind of emblematic of the series. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun to show y'all what I come up with on these. But since I already got started on Freerin, I thought it might be kind of nice just to start working on her, get her all colored in, and then working from there. Apothecary Diaries spotted. Indeed. Oh man, oh my word. That's good. That's very good. But yeah, I don't know. It was really nice to draw this, especially as I'm like putting off the inevitable of having to do taxes. I'm not looking forward to that, y'all. Also, this last week, it was a really big event in the United States. It was the Super Bowl. I'm not sure how big or well-known the Super Bowl is around the world, so I figured I would talk about it because it's a big deal in the United States. It's this enormous, like, millions and millions of dollars thrown behind it football game. And by football, I'm talking about the one that is only in the United States. Not soccer. For some reason they call it football, but they throw things at each other. They throw balls. They don't kick them. I don't know why it's called football. I don't know. I don't know if like someone got jealous of the fact that soccer was called football, and so they're like, it's our football now. And football is now soccer, and you're like, God damn it. Why do we make things so complicated? Anyway, so American football, the one where you throw the thing, throw ball. So there was a big throw ball event that happened this last week. Throwing at football, that's illegal. Yeah, you know, that's true. They not only throw the ball at each other, they also throw themselves at each other. There's actually a really kind of horrifying number of people who play American football who develop long-term like brain issues. So for those of you who play like rugby or throw ball, just be very conscientious. Oh my God, I can't speak words. Be very conscientious about that because I want you all to stay safe. So yeah, it's good. No head trauma. I don't, yeah, the head trauma, it's no good. It's no good. Oh my God, has it really been 10 months since I started membership? Dear God, y'all are gonna be getting like the full Chibinoko wrap at some point. Oh my God, that's so exciting. The full blanket. Oh my word, I got some fun stuff planned for that. I gotta put together some clips from member streams, just like I did for the 1 year Yumie-versary. Yeah, I know, 10 months is kind of wild. Monsoon, joke's on you. There's nothing in my head to trauma anymore. Well, still be careful. Take care of yourself. I don't want you all to have issues with the throw ball. Oh God. Yeah, no, the Super Bowl is kind of wild. Oh my God, system philosophy. I've heard a rumor about the Super Bowl. If a boss chooses the wrong person and orders him to work on during the Super Bowl, they'll refuse to do so. Yeah, no, people who are really into the Super Bowl do not want to be working during it. It always happens on a Sunday, and the weekend, like, leading up to that, everything in every grocery store is just gone. Like, it's like people just go and attack the grocery stores. They're not actually attacking them, but like every possible snack, every possible drink, anything that you could want for the Super Bowl, it's gone. It's just there's so many people who are getting all ready to go, and they're getting their chips, they're getting their tacos, they're getting like, I don't know, a whole bunch of beer, like just an unreasonable amount of beer. Yeah, no, there are a lot of people who call out sick during the Super Bowl. Oh my word. But yeah, no, so the Super Bowl is a very big event. It's televised. It ends up lasting for a really long time. So like American football games last a very, very long time. And I know that a lot of sports games can like last for a couple of hours, but like the Super Bowl goes for like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours. That's a long time. That's a very long time. And like there's a bunch of breaks for like ads, and there's a like a halftime show. I almost called it a mid-game show. It is technically a mid-game show, but it's officially called the halftime show. I'm realizing I'm just talking. I can draw while I'm talking. Let's see. Okay. We'll get this going. Is this her hair layer? Yes. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, the Super Bowl is wild. So it's this gigantic event where people will have Super Bowl watching parties. People will come together and just like hang out and watch, and like regardless of whether or not like your team is playing, like people will still get really invested in it. And we'll check it out for a while. That being said, there is an interesting phenomenon in my country that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people watch the Super Bowl not because they're interested in how the game turns out. They are watching for the ads. They're watching for the advertisements, because companies will pay so much money, like unbelievable amounts of money, to have something show up during the Super Bowl. It's kind of insane. And people will talk about their favorite ads. Like at my work this week, my day job, my boss was like, oh, how was the Super Bowl for everyone? Like, what were your favorite moments from it and whatever? And like multiple of my coworkers were like, oh, I loved this ad so much. Oh, do you remember this one that showed? And I don't know, maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm too detached from that, but like, I don't know, man. I can't get excited about ads. Like, that was a thing that the snecks in the underground used to get really invested in. Like, they would pull up the Super Bowl and be like, oh, are you ready for the Budweiser ad? And I'm like, what? No! I don't want to watch this to be advertised to. Like, shouldn't I know how the sport ball goes? Can someone explain? I don't understand. But no, we just watched because of the ads, so I don't know. And then there's like this really big halftime show that always happens. By the way, that halftime show is like, in my opinion, some peak like, a lot of wrong things with like, oh, you're doing it for exposure. Like a lot of people who put on halftime shows, they pay for it themselves. Like, that's kind of messed up, right? Like advertisers and like the people who are like showing off the Super Bowl and whatever, they're making a ton of money off of this. But like the actual performers for like the halftime show, a bunch of them are volunteers. And like the people, like the big superstars that are actually doing it, like they're not paid for that. Like, it's exposure. A lot of times they're trying to like advertise or they have a new album or something, but like, I don't know. I am of the opinion that people should be paid for their work. So that on a moral level, that makes me very upset that happens. Ugh. I actually knew someone who was a volunteer dancer for that, which is how I knew some of that information. And I remember her telling me like all of this stuff about it, and I'm like, girl, why are you doing this? Why are you volunteering? Like, you should be paid. What the hell? Why are you doing this? Ugh. So anyway, it's kind of wild. So anyway, you should like, if you've ever been curious about the Super Bowl, it is this gigantic event that people get very excited for. Some people are actually really invested in the Throwball, which is great. I'm happy for folks. Some folks are into the ads, and I don't want to cast any judgment on you if you do like the ads. I just personally, I just can't justify watching for like 5 hours to watch the ads. Like, I don't know. I guess like the ads show up later too. Like you can find them on YouTube of like, oh, this was the Super Bowl ad from this year. And you're like, damn, okay. It adds to the excitement. You know, that's very true. It does. It does indeed add to the excitement. Oh my God. So anyway, that happened this last weekend. So like poor Bear is like trying to go shopping for scallops, and he had to go on Thursday because we knew if he went shopping on Friday, he just like would be stuck at the store forever. But he still was stuck like in traffic on Thursday trying to get everything. Gets YouTube ads on video of ad compilation. They're just trying to get you. They're trying to get you from every direction. Ads everywhere. Oh God. Man, it was funny too because I was ranting about this to Bear. And I was describing how, like, when I was a young snack, I know I brought up the Budweiser commercial. It's because all of the snakes in the underground where I grew up, they were obsessed with these Budweiser commercials. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Budweiser is a really big beer brand in the United States. They're like the thing that, they're like one of the things that college students will drink, but like it's also just available at like any bar you go to. But yeah, so Budweiser, one of their mascots is a Clydesdale, which is this enormous horse. Like, frankly, like too big to exist. Clydesdales are stupid big. And they had like this multi-year ad campaign with these horses and this dog, and like one of the years they find the dog and the horses get close to the dog, and then the next couple years the dog runs away and all the Clydesdales, they burst out of their stables and they all go and they at some point they fight wolves for some reason. I don't know. This is like many years in the past. I think I might have been in high school when this came out, so like, you know, that's like 15 plus years ago, but I don't know. I remember that one and only that one because the snakes in the underground were so obsessed with it. Like, they would talk about it all the time. They'd be like, oh, I hope Budweiser does another ad at the Super Bowl again. And I'm like, you're playing into their hands. This is what they want. They want you to want them to advertise to you. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for their tricks. Anyway, it was too late. It was too late for the snakes in the underground. But I remember those. I remember only those. I don't remember any of the other ads. You know, it does sound like one of those animated horse movies. Yeah, no, that's the thing. For those of you who don't remember this ad at all, that's good. I think that's normal. I think that's good. The fact that I remember this is a curse. I am cursed with this knowledge. Many years after I have left the underground, I still remember these damn Budweiser commercials because the snakes of the underground would just play it over and over and cry. And listen, I cry at a lot of things. I get very invested in things very easily, but I wasn't crying at the dog and the horse commercials. I don't know, man. It's not like I haven't teared up at like really cute animal commercials before, but I just felt like the wolves was too much. Why are they fighting wolves? I don't know. Like, wolves are not doing very well in the United States. There used to be a lot of them, like way back in the before times. You all found it. Oh, there was a Kia Hamsters one, wasn't there? I vaguely remember that. Like, vaguely. Man, that's sad. Apparently, actually like really big Super Bowl things that like maybe I should have remembered from when I actually was watching these. I don't remember, but I remember these Budweiser ones. Oh God. But yeah, no, wolves in the United States used to be really prominent. But unfortunately, they were almost hunted to extinction. Thankfully, they're being very slowly reintroduced again, which is good, because our deer populations in the United States have gone absolutely insane. Because it turns out when you remove like a really big important predator all of the things that they preyed upon suddenly explode. So yeah, that's been good. That's nice that they're finally coming back again. Oh man. You found a video, top 10 best Super Bowl commercials? Oh my god. Yeah, no, Budweiser and Heineken. Oh my god, they make crazy amounts of money. Good god. It's kind of absurd. Okay, I'll do this. Oh, Freerin is looking so good. Okay, let's go. We're just getting some of like the base shadowing going here. Okay, so I got these. You know, it's kind of sad. The United States, it's not like this isn't the case in other places, but like depending on which part of the United States you're in, they'll have different laws around hunting. And there was actually one region of the United States that made it so that people could hunt wolves again, because they're like, oh, you know, it's fine. Like, we'll open up wolf hunting again because their numbers are starting to stabilize. This is great. We'll let people go and hunt them again because they've been begging us to hunt them. And in 2 days, in the state of Wisconsin, they killed 2/3 of the wolves that lived in that state. In 2 days. 2 days! 2 days! So anyway, they immediately had to revoke all of the hunting licenses for wolves in that state because they're like, we didn't think it was possible for you all to like go and take down the wolf population again. But yeah, I don't know. People in my country really like hunting wolves. So they kind of have to like prevent them from doing that because otherwise, like in Wisconsin, if you open up wolf season, they'll just kill them all. Like, I don't know, man. I just looked at that news article and I'm like, man, I feel so bad for like all of the ecologists and wolf preservation folks who have been working for like decades to get those wolf populations back up again. And now they've been reduced by 1/3 in like one part of the country. Ugh. Yeah, here's the thing, Ghost. You were just correct. Like, I have known many folks who hunt. It is a popular pastime in some parts of the US because, again, we kind of like screwed up, some of the food chains because people like hunted all of the buffalo and they hunted all the wolves and and then a bunch of other populations of animals went kind of crazy. So anyway, now, thankfully with the wolves, the things are starting to get a little better. But there's still like crazy amounts of deer everywhere. So I've known a lot of people who do deer hunting, and I actually knew some people who hunted moose. Man, that's like crazy. Moose are really big and really scary. I have seen moose like with my snake lady eyes. I have been not very far away from a real life moose on multiple occasions. They liked wandering around in the underground quite a bit. So I've seen many a moose in my day, and you just kind of like make sure that you're not threatening to them at all. You give them a very wide berth. Don't make any sudden noises, and especially be very, very careful if it is breeding season for them, because they all go kind of crazy. So yeah, thankfully though, moose that tend to live near humans, except for Alaska, I'm sorry, Alaska, for everywhere else, moose tend to only be active in like the very, very early morning or late in the evening, and they tend to avoid humans as much as possible. So the only times I saw them were in the very early morning. So that was good. some of the snakes in the underground would leave what are called salt blocks for them. It's a thing that you give horses because horses often need a little bit of salt in their lives, and they also just think it tastes good. It turns out that animals think that salt tastes really good. And moose are the same, so if you leave a salt block out for a moose, it will come and just lick it clean. So that was often how I would see the moose, is I'd wake up, slither out, it'd be like 6 in the morning, and there's just a moose that's just licking a salt block, and you're like, oh, hi. You're quite large. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna slither on by. Nothing to worry about here. But yeah, no, as far as like hunting is concerned, like as far as I understand it, like hunting deer is just like the way to go. Like, I don't know. I think it's like a pride thing. I think people want the honor or like the prestige of hunting a wolf. I don't know. I understand that like it can also be like a, ooh, I actually took down something different, which can be really cool. But like, man, there just aren't that many wolves. We can't go around hunting them. We need them. Like, even with people hunting deer in the United States, there's still so many of them. It's crazy. Oh, and yes, God, venison is really good. You have to, I think like the best venison is if you really tenderize it. Like if you make venison stew, it can be really good. A lot of wild animals tend to be really gamey. They have like a very characteristic taste and smell to them. But if you like stew them for a really long time, the meat tends to break down a lot, and it's very good. Oh my God, spearfishing is so badass. I don't know, I think spearfishing is so cool. Like, it's one of those things that seems very difficult to do, but like, damn, I can't imagine how satisfying that would be to be like, huh, I got a fish. I actually got a fish on my spear. Oh man, venison jerky probably would be really good. Oh. Yeah, no, so there is a region of the United States which it's practically Canada. Like it's totally separated from the rest of the United States. Like at one point in time, the United States purchased this absurdly large piece of land up in Canada, and it is now Alaska. And a bunch of moose and polar bears and other things live up there, and it gets very cold. And I've known a couple of people who have lived there, and they've shown me like pictures of like going snowshoeing or like just making their way to school. And one of them was like, oh yeah, this is a picture of me when it was like frostbite temperatures outside, and it was just a picture of her with like ice on her eyelashes. And I'm like, why did you stop to take a picture? Why did you stop to take a picture? Frostbite is bad. And she's like, oh, I was fine. I don't know, man. I feel like if you're used to living in Alaska, you just kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that you have to just get very used to. Oh God, that's the thing. I can't remember, man. Here's the thing. I'm saying that it's like part of the land mass that is Canada. But I think you're right. Technically it was owned, I think, by Russia. God, it's hard to remember. I know there was like a bunch of like the United States proper was purchased from France and Spain and like some other European countries. But Alaska as a purchase, I am failing to remember exactly who that was purchased from. And then poor Hawaii. Hawaii wasn't purchased from anyone. Hawaii was a conquest. That was not good. I feel really bad for Hawaii. I don't know. I hope that like some things change for poor Hawaii. They've gone through a lot. It's not been good. Not been good whatsoever. But yeah, the history of the United States is a lot of purchasing and taking of a lot of land, and that is something we're reckoning with. I think it's good that that is being reckoned with. It's you know, it's important. Good old imperialism, indeed. It's not good. I'm realizing that part of this hair, I need to erase this real quick. A lot of manifestation. Yeah, manifesting land that wasn't ours. Manifesting ownership to places that weren't ours. Oh, God. So, you know, that's not great. That's not very good. That's also just not been very good for, like, I don't know. A lot of, like, management of land in the United States has been pretty rough as a result. There was a lot of, like, controlled burns that used to happen, where, like, people who lived here for a very long time were, like, very used to how hot it would get, and so they would do controlled burns just to make sure that, like, the underbrush and things like that wouldn't be, like, set on fire by lightning and then cause massive forest fires. But unfortunately, that is not something that is done a whole bunch anymore. Actually, the firefighters of my country really want to do that because, like, it's a really good idea. Like, it's a great way to make sure that we don't get such big catastrophic forest fires. Like, you just do controlled burns. You burn during a season when it's, like, not at risk of big fires, and you keep an eye on it. You, like, burn some of the underbrush to make sure that that's all gone, and then, like, you're set to go. So I hope that that's something that folks will get funding for because it's very important. I've been thinking about that a lot because even though it's the winter, like, we're going to be coming back up on fire season again in a couple of months. So, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. Ugh. Oh my God. Actually, system philosophy. I'm happy you mentioned that. I've always been really curious because, like, there's like certain shows that I've seen that are set in regions of Japan that actually feature monkeys that are hanging out in hot springs. Are there monkeys in Japan? Where do monkeys live? That's wild. That's so crazy. I don't know. In my head, for some reason, like, I know that like, there's deer and like raccoon dogs, tanuki, and things like that live all over Japan. I know there's bears too. I've actually heard that there's been some problems with bears recently, but yeah, I didn't know if there were monkeys or not. So that's wild to hear that that's actually true. The wild is pretty wild in Japan, that's true. Oh my word. Oh, Shiba Inu are so cute. Oh my word. Oh, they're adorable. Oh, that's so good. Some very cute doggos. Very, very cute doggos. I'm generally a really big fan of dogs. They're just like, they're very earnest. They're always doing their best. They're trying to live the best lives that they can. I'm actually a really big fan of cats too. I know that there's this idea of, like, you're either a dog person or you're a cat person. I think dogs and cats are really cute. I think they're good. Sounds like a load of monkey business. Indeed, the monkeys. They're everywhere. They're in the hot springs. Oh my word. Oh, let's go like this. Oh, there's also, if I'm not mistaken, there's also red foxes in Japan, aren't there? There's red foxes in the United States too. I've actually seen a couple of them in the wild. I know I mentioned this during my Alba stream, but red foxes and, like, foxes in general smell really bad. And I used to live in a very rural area, so it was always a question of, like, am I smelling a fox or is it a skunk? Either way, I should probably not go follow that smell. It will not end very well. Oh, man. But yeah, no. I don't know. I think dogs and cats are both good. They have different qualities that make them good. Like cats just kind of do their own thing. Like some cats will be really friendly and they want to be pet and they want to like rub up and mark you as as part of their territory. Like whenever a cat will like rub up against your legs or your arms or whatever, like it's marking you with its scent. That's kind of why dogs will go absolutely insane if they smell a cat on you, because it apparently smells really strong. And other cats will get very upset if they smell another cat on you. Oh my word. Oh, you know what? That's actually a really good shout out, System Philosophy. I'll check out the Wikipedia page for monkeys in Japan. Also, I'm sorry, it might not let you post the link in the chat. It's a feature that I have just to make sure that bots don't post links. So I've turned it off so only I'm able to post them. But that's a good shout out. Now I'm gonna check out the Wikipedia page on monkeys in Japan. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. They always look so happy in the hot springs. I can't blame them. Hot springs are pretty awesome. That's a good way of putting it. Dogs want your approval. Cats expect it. That's the thing. Cats are very much like, I want attention exactly when I want it, and not a minute more or a minute less. So like, I actually had a cat. I had a cat and a dog growing up. And the cat that I had was somewhat dog-like. She would come if you called for her. So like she knew her name, which was fantastic. She would like follow you around outside and like just like be like, all right, we're going on a walk now. You're walking the dog. I'm coming with you. We're moving. Although in hindsight, I kind of have become part of the camp that thinks that you should probably keep cats inside. Like they really want to be outside. I can't blame them. But my cat just murdered so many birds. Oh my God, she murdered so many birds. Like all the time she would come and be like, look, it's a blue jay. And I'm like, it's half of your size. What have you done? That poor blue jay was minding its own business and it's dead now. I don't know. I definitely see the whole like cats are really bad for local ecosystems because they have no mercy. They kill for fun. Like it's not like she was eating them. She'd bring them back as a prize and then dispose of them. So yeah. And also like for cats' safety, it's good for them to be inside. Thankfully, my cat was very good at avoiding roads, but she still was attacked at one point, and we had to amputate part of her tail, which was really horrible. And it made me like very adamant that we try to keep her inside, but she kept sneaking out because the other snakes were like, look how sad she is. I left the window open for her. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on, what are you doing? Stop letting her out. She's already had an accident. We can't keep doing this. So anyway, I understand the whole desire of like the cats want to go outside, but it's because they want to kill all the birds and they want to run into danger. So I don't know. I think that it's not a bad thing to keep your cats inside. They'll put up a fuss about it, but like it's better than them killing all of the birds and going after mice and things. I guess like if you have a cat in order to take care of mice, that's different, I guess. It's like working, right? It's a working cat. But if you just have a pet cat, it's not a bad idea to let them inside. Plus, they're much less likely to get like all kinds of nasty stuff. Like they can get ringworm and like all kinds of really like wretched diseases by being outside and interacting with other animals. So like, I don't know. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to keep them inside. God, that's the thing, right? My cat was the same way. She would just like disappear. She'd just like go off on her own, and then at like 3 a.m, she'd show up at my window meowing at me, and I'm like, I didn't want you to go outside, but now here we are. It's 3 a.m. and you're back again. Ugh. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. But she was a very funny cat, where like she would come when you would call her, thankfully, so that was good at least, unless she was like a block away or something. The cat went on a bounty hunt. That's exactly it. Oh no! Beltane Dine! Your mom's cat came one day with a broken jaw and other injuries. No! I'm so glad that they're doing better after surgery and recovery. That's the thing, right? There are unfortunately lots of things that are very dangerous to animals, like other animals, vehicles, and unfortunately people. And so like trying to keep your animals indoors, I think is just better for everything. Like being outdoors can subject them to the elements. They can get sad diseases. They can get hurt in some way. Yeah, that was, oh God. Ugh. Thinking back when I first found my cat with problems with her tail. I don't want to describe it, but she had been attacked and needed to remove a chunk of her tail, which was horrible. It was also really sad because she was trying to like tough it out. Like she was like following me around a lot more than usual and being like really weird, but like she wasn't like expressing that she was in pain or anything. And so I was petting her and I pet her tail and it was just, oh God, there's a lot of dried blood and I could see where problems had happened. She was a calico cat, and unfortunately the part of her tail that had been attacked was like the same color as the blood, so I didn't notice until I petted her. It was terrible. So anyway, she was doing much better after like we took her to the vet. But yeah, I think it's really messed up, and I want cats to live happy lives without like having to be in danger outside. God, Uematsu, that was the same thing with my cat too. They always bring offerings back to you and you're just like, oh God, what have you killed now? It was wild too because we had what was supposed to be a bird collar. It has like a bell that will ring when the cat moves. And so supposedly, like the birds will hear that the cat is coming, and so they'll all take off. It didn't matter. I once watched her as she was stalking a bird, and she just like took the bell between her face and her shoulder and just like held it there and still just stalked forward. This cat was too smart. This cat was too intent on murdering all of the birds. And she was just doing it for fun too. That was the messed up thing. I was like, cat, what am I gonna do with you? This is ridiculous. Yeah, no, for real. That's some big Jurassic Park action. Like, she's just over here like, this, do you think that you can stop me from killing the birds by putting this collar on me? You are mistaken. You are mistaken. And I don't know, there wasn't much else I could do. Like, I tried to save the birds. I tried to keep her inside. The other snakes let her out. I tried to put a bird collar on her. She pinned it between her face and her shoulder and killed them anyway. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. There's so many reports of cats in the wild who will like completely decimate entire islands of animals. They're just, they're too good at their jobs. They're too good at killing things. And you know what was messed up too? Here's the thing that really, really killed me. It was that we did actually have mice at one point. And this cat that would go to such extreme lengths to pin a bell to her shoulder in order to kill birds. I watched her just like playing with this mouse. Like It was terrified of her, like freaking out, having like a heart attack on the ground. And she's just like, it's so funny. And she's batting it around with her paws. And I'm like, cat, I swear to God, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. You got some problems, cat. What are you doing? This poor little thing is struggling over here. And you're just like, it's so funny though. It's so funny that it's terrified. And like, oh God, I don't know, man. Here's the thing, I still loved this cat. I know I've described her as like a total sociopath, and she kind of was, but like, she was still enjoyable to hang out with when she wasn't going and trying to murder everything. And she was never trying to murder me, I guess, so that was good. She would come and hang out and just like sit on your lap and be like, what you doing? What you doing, human? I'm gonna chill on you. All right, I'm taking off, bye. Bye, snake lady, I'm gone. She was your sociopath, and that's what's special. I guess this is like the brain rot of those of us who like cats, where you're like making all these excuses for like, oh, well, you know, she was just playing with her food. But she was so adorable otherwise. I don't know how to explain it. I still enjoy cats quite a bit. But dogs are really good too. I love dogs. They're just like very cheerful. They're trying to live their best lives. Sometimes they can be really needy, but like it's because they love you and they just want to make sure that like you're happy and you're doing okay and it's good. Yeah, if she's like a pussycat, she's a sociopuss. Yes. A sociopath cat, the sociopuss, yes. Yeah, you know, I've heard that there's like some theories that like there's weird like pheromones or like other weird things that cats will like passively emit that makes people like them. I don't know. I think they're just like, they're very funny. They're very funny animals. They're super sassy. Like cats are mad sassy. Oh my God. There were times when I'd be working on homework and my cat would just be like, what you doing? And she'd just come and sit on the page I was working on. And I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna work, cat. I need to finish my homework. And she's like, no, it's fine. You can pet me instead. That's your homework now. So then I'd pet her and I was trying to like move my pencil to like a different part of the paper. I'm like, okay, I can't work on the part she's working on, but I'll go and try and work on this. And like at lightning speed, this cat just like darts her paw out with one claw. She hooks it around the pencil and just completely holds it in place. And she's like, no. You're not doing homework. You can't get away. You may think that I'm satisfied with you petting me with one hand, but no, you're trying to work on something else. That's unacceptable. I couldn't believe her dexterity. Like, she didn't fumble it whatsoever. Just like one motion, paws out. Claw has hooked around the pencil. She never scratched me once. She never like injured me in any way. The only time she would use her claws is like, you're not doing homework now. You know, she did want me to get a PhD in belly rubs and petting. Man, that is some cat yandere behavior. That's true. She's like, no, you only pay attention to me now. I don't know, maybe that was her like making sure that I'm doing okay. I'd like go out on walks with the dog. And the cat would just like tag along too. She's like, all right, what's going on? She's jumping from tree to tree. She's like, I'm going on a walk too. And I'm like, okay, that's good, cat. I'm glad you're having a good time. Oh, she would taunt the dog too because she could hop up on things the dog couldn't get onto. The dog got so upset about that. Oh God. She'd be up on the counter, which the dog wasn't allowed on the counter. The dog would always try to eat anything there, so we were very conscientious about that. But the cat would just be on the counter, just like hanging out, enjoying stuff, looking down, and the dog is just glaring at her the entire time, like, how dare you? How dare you have this privilege that I do not have? Man, she was a bit of an asshole. Oh, God. I have some funny stories about her, though. Good God. Yeah, that's true. It does sound like it would make a cute picture book. Oh, my God. She was so funny. She was way too smart. Way too smart for her own good. Oh, man. Okay. I think this is looking good with our base shading. So let's actually go, we'll get some more shading done here. So let's go, we're gonna lighten this a tiny bit, because when I overlay this, this will be kind of dark. Okay. So let's go like this. I wonder if that's too purple. I don't know, her hair is kind of purple. I can make that more gray. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Oh. Man, system philosophy, that's a good point. Cat is a kind of animal which causes addiction. On that evidence, many cat owners often try to put their nose on the cat's belly and sniff it. I have seen people do this. I have seen people get super excited about, like, sniffing their cat's paws. Like, I never did this with my cat. I don't think she would have been chill with that. I think she would have been like, excuse me, what are you doing? Go away. What are you doing? Oh, man. But yeah, no, I have seen people do this with cats. It's very funny, too, because some cats are, like, super chill with it, and some of them are not. I suspected that my cat would not be chill with that, so I did not attempt this. Oh. I had a dog, though, that was really chill with, if you gave the dog, like, a full body hug. Like, sometimes I would just lie on the ground and, like, wrap around the dog, like... just, like, give a nice big hug to the dog. And the dog was just like, yes. Yes, yes, human snake lady. It is time for the hugs. And I'm like, yes. I think that's why I like big dogs a lot, because you can wrap around them. It's good. They're very cuddleable. It's good. Yes! Oh, thank you. That was exactly what I was going to talk about with cats. So cats, this is kind of the whole, like, they want exactly the right amount of attention. So they will be on board with you petting them for a little while. But when they're done with you, when they're like, I'm done with the petting now, sometimes they'll give a warning bite. It doesn't actually hurt, like the teeth doesn't sink into your skin, but they're like grabbing your hand with their mouth just to be like, oi, that's enough of that. That's enough of that petting. And you're like, okay. Warning taken. I'm not gonna pet you anymore. It looks like you're done. Oh, God. So, yeah. Yeah, no, some cats will also do it to show affection. But yeah, no, generally my experience is that if a cat is done with you petting them, they will let you know. And, like, that is your signal to stop petting them. Because, like, this is your warning. They're like, no more. Don't pet me anymore. I'm good. I'm just gonna chill now. And you're like, okay, sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. And thanks for not actually biting me. I appreciate it. Oh, man. But yeah, cats are very funny. Let's see. Go like this. I actually think I'm gonna do this. Okay. And then we'll go... We're gonna smooth some of this out. Okay. Go like this. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, like, when cats will, like, do, like, the play bite or whatever, like, it definitely is that they're trusting that, like, you're picking up what they're saying, which is good. Oh, there's actually some other interesting things. I was very obsessed with, like, wanting to befriend cats without, like, pissing them off. So I learned a lot of things about cat behavior so that I wouldn't piss them off when I tried to make friends with them. And it's generally been pretty successful, so I figured I'd pass some of that along. But cats, okay, so cats and dogs have very different instinctual reactions to eye contact. Like if you look at a dog is generally going to like not interpret that in a hostile way. They'll just be like, yo, what's up? How's it going? And the dog will respond like fairly positively. They might even like come over to say hi. But most cats, like by nature, this isn't just like house cats, but cats in the wild, they see direct eye contact as a sign of aggression. So cats will generally not like it if you stare at them. So that's why people who tend to not like cats will often get mobbed by them. So if you've ever been in a situation where like you don't like cats or you're not used to them and you weren't staring at the cat will often come to you because you're not staring at it. So if you ever want to attract a cat or get a cat to like relax around you, don't like stare at them directly. Like if you call for them or whatever, like you can kind of like look away from them. Here's the thing, that's not like 100% true because some cats have adjusted to how humans are. My cat was like that where you could stare directly at her and she didn't care. Like she was just like, yo, what's up? How's it going? What's up, human? And you're like, yeah, it's going. How many birds did you catch today? Oh God, too many. Just gotta stare at them to assert dominance. I shall now stare into the eyes of every cat. Challenge mode unlocked. Yeah, no, some cats that are very used to humans and are very friendly will come up to you if you do that. But most cats will not. They do not like being stared at. So they will come up to you if you were not staring at them. So if you've ever wanted to like, I don't know, attract cats, that's how you do it. Just don't stare at them. I found that to generally be pretty successful. I've had to like pet sit for some very, very unfriendly cats, and I was able to get them to trust me by like not staring at them, giving them their space, like making sure that they had, you know, the food that they wanted and treats and stuff. And then like they'll just like show up and hang out on your lap at some point later, and you're like, oh, very friendly now, are we? There was like this, I'm gonna call them like a working cat because they caught a lot of mice and stuff at this one person's house in the underground. And they were generally like pretty unfriendly to people, but I just like gave them plenty of space, like didn't try to like force them to be pet and whatever, didn't ever stare at them. And then, yeah, no, the cat would just like come and just hang out on my lap all the time. Oh my God, that cat was enormous too. Oh my God. So, I've been talking a lot about how I love cats, but, you want to hear the saddest thing? I'm actually really allergic to them. I actually wasn't allergic to cats for a really long time. And then in my teenage years, I started developing an allergy, and it's just gotten worse. It's much worse with cats that have long fur. Like short-haired cats are a little bit better, but yeah, I can't hang out with cats anymore. I like immediately get a really runny nose and my eyes start watering and I can't get anywhere near them. It's horrible. So anyway, it's just dogs for me. It's just dogs for me. I actually am kind of worried that maybe I'm allergic to dogs too. I'm kind of scared. I'm like refusing to like test that in any capacity because I kind of feel like if I do, I'll be really sad. No, Coco, you're the same! God, we're cursed. We're cursed with this. To actually like cats, but to be allergic to them, it's horrible. No! No! Uematsu, that's horrible! No! Fiance Matsu loves and wants a cat, but she's allergic. That's terrible. It's a terrible curse. Like, loving an animal but being allergic to it, it's awful. It's so horrible. I actually, the first animal that I found out I was allergic to were rabbits, actually. When I was 5 years old, one of the snakes brought a rabbit, not to eat, but it was a pet rabbit. I know snakes eat rabbits, but this wasn't an eating rabbit. It was a friend rabbit. They brought a friend rabbit, and I was petting the friend rabbit, and I just like started like pouring tears from my eyes, and my nose was uncontrollably running. It wasn't rolling. My nose wasn't rolling. It was running, and it was terrible because I was so little. I didn't know what was happening, and so I'm petting this rabbit and my eyes are running, and I take my hands and I start rubbing away the tears, but like I had just used those same snack hands to touch that rabbit that I'm very allergic to, and it just started stinging like crazy. It was horrible. I just started crying uncontrollably, and the other snakes were like, oh God, what's happening? Oh God. It didn't stop until like I'd completely washed off, and then at that point they're like, okay, no rabbits. The rabbits are bad. The rabbits are no good. And for many years I was like, at least it's only the rabbits. But I should have known. I should have known that it was only the beginning of my troubles. Oh. Okay. I think that free run is looking okay, but I would like to do, I'm gonna lower that just a little bit. Okay. That's looking good. Let's actually get some more like this. I actually want this to be like, I'll go like this. Okay. Oh, that's nice to draw. It's been a little while since I've been able to draw. I actually did a bunch of drawing right before Christmas because I had been preparing merch. I've been trying to get merch prepared for a while. But all of the merch places that I had reached out to, they were totally booked up because it was the holidays. But I actually got some positive stuff back, saying that they finally had some openings. So I'm very excited about that. I've got a bunch of stuff prepared. At this point, we might just wait until the Tsuchinoko Festival for my birthday. Because we're already halfway through February. Like, I don't know, May isn't that far off now. So I'd originally hoped to get it like much sooner than that, but I don't know. It's in the works, and I'm happy about that. So yeah, look forward to that in the nearest future. I think y'all will enjoy that quite a bit. I worked really hard on all of the stuff, and I'm super excited for how it all turned out. Oh God. It's really fun just to like draw things, but I've never had the opportunity to make merch of anything. So I'm really excited that I'm actually going to be able to do that. It feels kind of surreal, honestly. It's like a thing that you dream of doing, of making merch, but I've just never done it. Like, I don't have the time or the know-how to set up a merch shop myself. So I've like reached out to some folks who actually know how to do that. And they were really kind, and they're like, oh my God, you've got all the stuff prepared. We're sorry we didn't have openings, but like, let's figure something out. So I'm gonna be talking with them soon. It's exciting. So exciting. Okay. Oh, Freerin. She's looking so good. Okay. Good. So we got our shadows kind of figured out here. Let's go ahead and probably get some highlights going here. She's looking good. Okay. Man, I've been enjoying Freerin. I'm like starting to realize that it's gonna be like getting close to the end of the season before I know it. I'm not prepared. Like, there's so many shows that I have loved this year. And I've been watching Freerin now for like 2 core. It's gonna have 28 episodes at the end of this, which is fantastic. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm so glad that there are Freerin cosplayers. Oh, that makes me so happy. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Freerin is so good. It's got a little bit of something for everybody, in my opinion. Okay. Free run's looking nice. Let me go. Okay. It looks so peaceful. I love it. Love it. And then I can actually play with some of this a little bit. So let's go. Make that look a little bit more Strand-like. Not the game, but the hair strand. I think it's so funny that Strand like has become like a very strange, like meaningless term for like games that you can't really categorize otherwise. It's like, oh, it's Strand-like, and you're like, that doesn't mean anything though. Does that mean it's a walking simulator? Does it mean that it's like kind of dark story setting, or like it just doesn't fit another role? I don't know. I think that's deeply funny that that's just become a thing now. Yeah, it's like, oh god. So Hideo Kojima created a game called Death Stranding, and it's a really like unique game where you spend a lot of time climbing through frozen wildernesses. Like you spend a lot of time like reflecting and walking and transporting things, and it was such a bizarre game. And Kojima is like a very respected person in the gaming sphere, just for like a lot of work that he has done. I tend to be like a little skeptical of like propping up certain directors as like fully responsible for the games they make, because even though they're responsible for the vision, like there's so many people who work on animating and story writing and like putting all of the gameplay elements together. Like the director is only one part of it, and that's not like a slight against Kojima. It's just like my own personal opinion that like there's a lot of people who contribute, and I wish we heard more about them too. Tell me about these cool people who make the games that I like. But yes, no, it's that Strand. I've heard like games, like, I don't know, like journalists and things like that, when like they're not exactly sure what to describe a game, sometimes they'll be like, yeah, it's very Strand-like. And I feel like it's just their way of being like, I don't know how to describe this game. It's kind of like this. It's become kind of a meme. Like, people will just say it ironically now. It's a Strand-like game. And I think that's deeply funny. Oh my word. Okay, I'm gonna do the same Strand-like thing with some of the hair. Okay. Let's go like this. Okay, there we go. I always like adding these little strand bits. I actually started art with physical media. I think a lot of people do. Nowadays, some folks actually just learn straight on digital, which I think is super cool. Like, I don't know, digital wasn't really much of a thing when I was growing up. Like, some people used it for like post-processing, but I learned everything with physical media. And I did a lot of pencil drawing and a lot of oil drawing. Sorry, not oil drawing, oil painting. Like with actual oil paints and things. Oh, have a good night. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, folks. No worries if you gotta dip out. I hope y'all have a great rest of your night. Oh, but yeah, oh my god, actually, Tofu, that's a really good shout out. Some game creators do actually make the whole game. Which is kind of wild. Like, didn't the dude who made Stardew Valley, did he not, like, do pretty much all of that himself? That's wild. And then Toby Fox, like, did a bunch of that himself. That's incredible. I think, like, talking about those kinds of achievements is super incredible. Like, really small studios who do incredible things. I love it. I think that's fantastic. It's so much work to make a game. But yeah, a lot of the reason why I'm bringing that up is a lot of the ways that I interact with this drawing software is still like how I used to draw and paint things. And I think it's nice. It's like, there's a lot of things I love about digital art. But the only thing that I miss is that I used to be able to grab like a palette knife and just like move paint like physically around and do all kinds of really cool smears and things like that. So I've been trying to find ways to mimic that. And yeah, it's been nice. Bob Rossing it up. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? That's what blows my mind. Like, for real. It feels like when we were, I don't know, like when we were younger, it's just like not a thing. Digital art was just not something that most folks really knew a whole bunch about. But yeah, now people have like, now very young people have iPads and stuff that they're immediately able to learn how to draw on. And I am of the opinion that digital art is awesome. I think it's such a great way to like, if you make a mistake, it's so much easier to deal with. There's all kinds of awesome tools for learning how to do proportions and like, you can compare to 3D models to be like, oh, that's how this pose would look. I've seen a lot of folks who do like figure drawing or anime art that will use 3D models to be like, okay, what does this pose look like? I tend to be like, I don't know, I still have a bit of the like old dog struggling to learn new tricks problem. I haven't been able to like figure out the whole 3D modeling thing, so I just kind of like find general references, or like I'll look at my own hands or like my own poses and stuff and be like, yeah, that seems kind of right, and then like that's like way too hard. I think that using actual models is much better. I should learn how to do that. Oh man. You know, there's definitely a lot of things to still like learn with digital art. And I think that like, regardless of whether you start with digital art or not, it's not a bad idea to take an art class, because at the very least, it'll just give you more practice with drawing in some capacity. And who knows, you might learn something. I've had some really awesome art teachers who taught me a lot of stuff. And I think that like, that's really valuable as a result. You might not necessarily learn anything in your art class, and that's fine. I've also been in some art classes where we just drew stuff, and that was fine. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh my god, Coco, that exactly! I have tried to do the 3D model thing, and every time I just come away being like, I'm clearly not doing this right. Like, I have to show you all what I do. So like, okay, this seems really silly, but trust me, this is like my weird drawing process. So I tend to like do blobs first. I'm like blocking out like roughly how big I want something to be, and then I'll do the line art from there. So Freerin started out as this blob. This is the Freerin blob. This is how it all started. It was just this big old blob here, and then that became this. So I don't know. I was like, okay, I roughly want her to be this size, and like her shoulders will kind of look like this, and her face will be kind of lower, and then I drew over it. It looks super not helpful whatsoever, but I don't know. It was helpful for my brain, because I'm like, okay, this is like roughly how big I want her to be in the frame. Everyone's gotta start somewhere. Freerin and blob. Oh man. Oh god, that's true. Magical. That really is draw the rest of the owl energy. I'm like, oh yes, so here's how you draw Freerin. You start out with a blob, and then you get this. You know, I did actually film there's a really cool thing in Clip Studio where you can film your canvas as you're drawing. So I have it recording. So at the very end, I'll have like a time lapse that you all can see, which is pretty cool. You know, that's the thing. I feel like I have known so many people who do art so differently from each other. I feel like the way that I draw is super weird. I don't know. I've seen some people do it like this. I just like block out generally how big I want a character to be in frame, and then I kind of fill in the pieces from there. But that's like not... Most of the time people will draw like skeletons and stuff, but whenever I draw skeletons, I have a hard time with proportions. I don't know, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but like I tend to base all of my proportions off of like, for the face, I draw the eyes first, because I know that the eyes, I'll have them be like a certain distance apart from each other, and then I can base the rest of the face off of that, and then I can base the hair off of that, and then yeah, so I start with the eyes. I start with the eyes first, so I draw the head first, and then from there I can be like, okay, so if the head is this big, the body should be like roughly this big in proportion, which is... It's a little different. It's a little different, but I don't know. That's how my brain does it. I draw the eyes first, then I draw the face, I draw the hair, and then I do the rest of the body. Oh, oh my god, that's extremely flattering of you, Ryu. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like art is something where you're always learning, and you're always improving. I'm glad I'm at the point where I can be like, okay, this is like roughly how big this should be. And God knows I screw that up all the time. I also have like a whole history of like art that is posted online of me like figuring out human proportions better and like doing better with anime characters. Because a lot of the art that I did, oh God, I had to do like actual figure drawing of like not anime characters. Oh, that's so hard. It's so hard. I liked drawing animals and I liked drawing landscapes, but drawing people was always really hard. So I like brute force, tried to just like practice over and over and over again with like drawing anime characters to try and get the proportions right. And somewhere along the way, it's starting to look a little better. So that's something. I still have a lot of things I want to be better at, but you know what? That's extremely, extremely reasonable, Uematsu. Facial proportions are really difficult. I think that's why, like, I wanted to make sure that I tried to get those down for myself. And then, like, from there I can be like, okay, I want the hair to be, like, roughly this big compared to the rest of the face. And I want like their forehead to be this big. Oh. Oh my god, that's actually an incredible way to think about it. You have the drawn eyes first because they stare back at you and it helps you focus more. Here's the thing, like drawing anime eyes is really satisfying too, at least for me personally, because once you've drawn the eyes, it's like a little confidence booster because you're like, yeah, I drew those eyes. Those eyes look great. Or you'll be like, oh, I want to make those eyes look better. And so you go back and you work on the eyes more. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Muscles are so hard. Oh, my God. Because they're so weird. Like, when you look at muscles, they do wild things. I mean, you see this all the time in people who, like, are professional artists. You can even tell, like, people will stylize muscles or do wild things with them. They'll like simplify certain muscle groups because they're like, I'm not drawing that. I'm not drawing all those muscles. That's too weird. I'm not doing that. But yeah, no, I actually think like for real, I think that starting with still life and landscapes or like just something to get practiced with drawing something, I think that's great because it's also a good chance to see how you draw. Like, what is it that you like focusing on when you draw? Because that also helps like later on if you end up wanting to draw more, you can see like how you want to simplify things. Like, it's not just muscle groups or faces or hands or things like that. Like figuring out what things you actually like to draw and like trying to improve at that is good. My biggest advice is like whether it's drawing, whether it's cooking, whether it's any sort of creative endeavor, is to pick a topic that you're passionate about. I think that fan art in any capacity, like whether it's building models, whether it's drawing fan art, whether it's like making a dish that you've seen in like a show that you really liked, or you know, it's something that was featured in an anime that you enjoyed, or you watched it on like TV and you're like, wow, I really want to try that. Like that sort of fan creation, I think, is really good for incentivizing you to practice at something. Like I drew so much fan art of so many characters that I loved, and I did it because I loved those characters, and it was encouraging because even if I wasn't always happy with the end result, I was happy that I was drawing that character. So like even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you want it to, and God knows, like you're always going to be very critical of your work. You will always be your own worst critic. At least you'll look at it and be like, wow, I'm so happy that I made this. Like I made this because I love this character or because I love this dish. Oh. Exactly. Oh my God, Coco, yes. Every leap in skill that you've had was due to extreme brain rot. That's exactly it. You're just like, I love this character, so I'm gonna draw them 1,000,000 times. And then you just get better over time because you're practicing, right? You're drawing all the time. Or you're like, man, I want to make this dish. And so like you just make it over and over. That's like Bear's journey with cooking, as he's like, I'm gonna make this dish and I'm gonna figure out how to do it. And he just made fried rice a bunch of times and like looked to like other people who had done fried rice to be like, how did they do it for theirs? What ingredients did they add? How should I be proportioning things? And now he makes really goddamn good fried rice. Oh my God. We're having that for dinner next week. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I think that is so cool that PewDiePie has been doing like, it's the 100-day drawing challenge, right? I think that's super cool because like it's very encouraging to see someone who like wants to improve so much that they're willing to do that. God, I wish I had more time in my life to do something like that. That's like, I don't know. It's like big dreams of like actually being able to draw one thing a day. I think that'd be super cool, but time to draw fried rice. Oh, Matsu, that makes me so happy to hear. That's what I hope, right? Because like I think that sometimes it can be really discouraging to see where you're at, whether it's with art or cooking or making models or any sort of creative endeavor, and be like, God, I'm never going to be good enough. Like I'm never going to make improvements, but that's just not true. Like it's just about repetition. The more that you do something and the more that you practice, the better you'll get at it. And I think it's also worthwhile to look at people who inspire you, like to try and figure out like, wow, I really like how they drew this. I wonder how they did it. I wonder if like I'm able to replicate that myself, or like, wow, I love how this dish looks. How did they make that so golden? How did they make this dish turn out so well? I don't know. I think that's cool. So like, I don't know, looking for inspiration, knowing that like it's all just about practice. And so finding something that you want to practice on is important. Like, you shouldn't like force yourself to make pasta. Like if you don't like pasta, like make something that you actually want to make because you'll be more incentivized to get better at it. Oh. Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's also, I think that is kind of why I'm on the whole like fan creations thing, because it helps to get past like the impatience of how long it takes you to get better at a thing, because at least like you're creating something you're passionate about. I did that a lot with fan art, and I think it helped a whole bunch. Like I'm still drawing a bunch of fan art, clearly. Technically my own model is my own creation, my own fan art of myself. I don't know. That was like a really big moment for me when I made my model and I was like, wow, I'm actually like pretty happy with how this turned out. And like I have ideas for other outfits I want to do. And like, I don't know, I think that's really satisfying to like have fun creating like a bunch of fan creations and then like get to a point where you're like, I want to actually create something original. I want to try it, give it a shot, see how it goes. And sometimes it can be kind of messy. God knows I had multiple versions of this model that each got better over time. The first couple versions I was like, ooh, geez, I gotta work on that. I like some bits of this model, but like I gotta work on the face a little bit. I gotta make that work a little better. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad to hear that y'all are in the same boat of like, it's just good to draw something that you love. It is a very good motivator that helps to get past like some of the impatience and like being frustrated that like you're not at the place that you want to be. Yeah, I think that helps quite a bit. And do know like it takes time. Like this is a thing that like you do have to work at, which is again why I think drawing fan art is good, because then you'll be motivated to keep coming back to it, since it does take a long time. Like it has taken me years to feel like much more comfortable with drawing anime characters. Like I feel pretty decent about drawing backgrounds because that was most of what I did as a young snack. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that helps. Just like finding something to feel passionate about and then like sinking your energy into that if you want to improve at something. I do like that. You are your biggest fan. I think that's a really important thing because you can be your own worst critic. It's really easy to look at something you've made and be like, oh, I hate this. I hate how this looks. But it's important to like give yourself compliments too of like, I'm really happy with how I improved on this. I'm really happy that like this looks good, or like I wanted to practice this one thing. Sometimes I would pick certain characters to draw fan art because like they'd have really complicated clothing or really complicated hair, and I wanted to improve at those things. It was actually why I really got into drawing Genshin fan art for a while, because their outfits are insane. Oh my god, Genshin characters have so many details, it's ridiculous. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna try to improve at some of these finer details. Oh god. Okay, hold on. I think I got that. I'll do a little bit of drawing on her clothes. Okay. Yeah, that is the really tricky thing, is finding time for things too. I generally try to set aside like a little bit of time, like during the week or like the weekend to work on stuff. Nowadays with doing stuff for the channel. I have so many things I'm so excited to work on all the time that like, I end up spending like, I don't know, probably like at least 2 hours after work, like doing channel stuff because I get really excited about it. Something that I did like before I was doing the channel, it was like on weekends and stuff, I would do a lot of drawing, and like sometimes I would draw a little bit on the weekdays too. But yeah, it's been super fun, just like putting together fun stuff for the channel. It's like my biggest creative hobby. Because I get to draw a bunch of stuff. I get to make Yumie PowerPoints. I get to play really fun games. Like some of the channel stuff I do is just like playing games ahead of time just to test them out. And I'm like, yes, this is research. Research. Definitely not me just having fun playing this. But I guess that's the whole point, right? You should be having fun with whatever it is you're doing as a hobby. Oh my word. You know, I think that's awesome, Uematsu. And that's the thing, like I don't want you all to feel pressured to like, if you like don't have enough time to do stuff, I don't want you to feel pressured or feel bad that you don't have the time to do drawing or like any artistic endeavors. But I did want to bring it up because I think that it's something that like has helped me a lot, just to realize that like drawing fan art and drawing a lot of it has been the biggest thing that has helped me improve. Just like practicing a bunch and practicing about things I'm really passionate about, because I actually have some investment in trying to improve. So yeah, 30 hours into a new game for research. Man, that's pretty much what's happened with Chained Echoes. Bear bought that for me for Christmas and he was like, yeah, I think you would have a ton of fun. Like, this is a perfect streaming game. We can like test it out a little bit ahead of time. Then we're like, I don't even know. We're like 80 hours in. And I'm like, more! We must finish it now. This will be my research. We're going to finish the game and then I'll play it on stream. Hey, you'll have the full experience at that point. I'll have completed an entire game and then they'll have lots of thoughts about it. Oh god. I do need to get some more sleep though. And that's the thing, I don't want to make you all think that I don't do like non-channel things. It's just like, this is a really fun hobby for me. I have a lot of fun like planning stuff and like hanging out and streaming, making videos, editing videos. I finally get to edit videos again. Oh, it's good. Also, bye. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. No worries if you've got to take off. It's all good. Hey, and no worries. If you haven't picked up Chained Echoes, it's all good. I'm going to play it with y'all at some point. And then you can be like, ooh, I'm gonna check this out now. I see what the appeal is. But yeah, no, it's an enormous game. It's also just like really, really well written and really, really well created. I am blown away by how much fun the combat is, how much fun all of the characters and the storytelling is. I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with that game right now. Oh, Chompy, that's a really good question. Okay, so there's a couple of artists that have inspired me a lot. Both like painters, like with physical media, as well as people who are digital artists, who have done a lot of work making anime-like characters. So one of my biggest like anime art inspirations is Mika Pikazo. She's actually the character creator for Hakos Bales, the chaotic rat from Hololive. She did her design. Oh my god, Mika Pikazo is amazing, y'all. Oh, I love her. I love her work so much. She like makes things so colorful. It's beautiful. Oh my god, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I absolutely adore her work. I think it's so good. I also really love, I've actually got it on my shelf. Hold on. Let me go. Yeah, as far as physical media, I think he might do some digital art too. But the work of James Gurney, he did all of the artwork for the Dinotopia series, which was how I first found out about him as a young snake. I was really into Dinotopia. It was this, originally it was a book series and the artwork was exquisite. Like, he just has such a good understanding of anatomy, not just for humans, but for dinosaurs. And the way that he uses color and light is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So he's got actually this book that's sitting on my shelf called Color and Light. Hilariously enough, the two things that I think he's very good at, he wrote a whole book about. And it's actually a really helpful reference for explaining how light reflects off of things, how you'll have like multiple reflection points for light, how color changes under different lighting conditions, and just generally it's just a good book. I'm a big fan. So yeah, it's very, very nice. So yeah, I would say those two are like some of my biggest art inspirations. I also, Mika Pikazo is also been doing some really cool animation work. She learned how to animate some of her artwork, which is amazing. And I listened to a talk of hers when I was making my model, and she talked about how for like anime like movement, even though this isn't a thing that human eyes do, it can look more natural to have your eyebrows move when you blink. So like when I blink, right? Like my eyebrows move with it. It's very, very small, but it's a tiny bit of movement to give life to the face of an anime character. So a bunch of animators do this in anime where they're trying to be like quote unquote more realistic. Even though like if you look at yourself in a mirror, if you blink one of your eyes, like your eyebrow isn't necessarily moving with it, but like your face might change and shift a little bit. So yeah, a bunch of like Mika Pikazo's talks on animation have been very formative. They've been really important for me, just like with how I designed my model and how I did some of the animation work with it. So yeah, exactly, like subtle attention to detail. And it's really cool too because like Mika Pikazo is not afraid of such really bold colors, but I love that she has so much attention to detail on that. I think it's fantastic. So I'd say that those two are my biggest inspirations. As far as like other folks who have also watched, for a long time I've watched the art streams of Ninomae Inanis. She's been really helpful for learning digital art because she had a lot of good suggestions for settings, as well as like things that she has done to make her life easier with digital art. Like, I've learned so much. Like she's a professional artist and like, oh my word, I'm so grateful for her. She has just made my digital art life so much better. Oh my word. So yeah, big fan of Ina. She just does very good work and has helped me to be a better digital artist. Which has been very much appreciated. Okay, so let's see. We'll do a little bit more art here. I figure we'll do a little bit more drawing. And then I told myself that I needed to get some rest after 2 hours. It's already been 2 hours. Oh my god, this has been so much fun. I have enjoyed talking with you all. This has been so nice. I'm hoping that I can do like more just chill drawings Outsudan like this. It was something that I neglected a lot. I think it was because I was doing so much drawing behind the scenes, right? Like I was drawing, but it was all secretive. Like I was trying to keep it a surprise. So I have all these drawing projects, but I'm like, oh crap, I can't stream this. I want them to be surprised by this. So anyway. I need to find some drawing projects that would be fine for you all to actually see. And then that'll be good. Yeah, digital art is tricky. Especially like I ended up investing in like a whole gigantic drawing tablet. So like I'm drawing directly on the screen that I'm looking at. A lot of drawing tablets, you'll have the drawing part separate and then you'll have to hook it up to a display. And I don't know, that screwed with my brain. I was so used to doing oil painting and things that I'm like, no, I want to draw on the thing. I want to see what I'm drawing. So, yeah, anyway. I ended up getting a whole drawing tablet, and that was mainly because I knew that I was going to be drawing a whole bunch. But you can totally get away with just like a drawing tablet that is just connected to a display. And yeah, it takes a little bit of time to adjust to it. But I found that there's some really good tutorials out there. I'd actually say if you're interested in like learning some more about digital art, Ina has, oh gosh, this is probably like 3 years old at this point. But it's still really helpful. She has a drawing session where she talks about Krita, Krita. And it's a free drawing software, and she shows how you can draw in it and get settings all going. And I thought that was really helpful because at the time I was using Krita, And so it was great to like learn how to draw using that. And then I later jumped to Clip Studio because their PR department is terrible, but the drawing software itself is very good. They need to maybe work on like the fact that they're trying to make it a subscription model, but like I still enjoy Clip Studio. I don't have anything I enjoy more. Like, I'm not gonna buy Photoshop. God, Photoshop's gonna try and wring like $22 a month out of me. I'm not doing that. Ugh. Yeah, that's the thing. A bunch of people started with Psy. I ended up doing Krita, and then I moved to Clip Studio. But Krita was great. Like, it's got a bunch of things that are really similar to Clip Studio. I just got kind of like really invested in like some of the tools that Clip Studio had. It also has this enormous asset shop. You can go and buy like special brushes and patterns and stuff. Like, other artists have made these and they're like, here, use this in your drawings. And you're like, oh my God, I love you. Thank you. I'll use this in so many of my drawings. Yeah, Photoshop is really stupid. It's so expensive. And they're like, I think that the last time I looked it up, it was like $22 a month. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. I have other subscription services and I'm happy with Clip Studio. I'm still annoyed at some of the decisions that they made with like their subscription service. I'm still using like the OG stuff. But yeah, no, they tried to like roll out a subscription model, and a lot of their, you know, the people who use Clip Studio were like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you making this a live service? Stop, please. And yeah, I don't know. Lots of mistakes were made. Yeah, no, for real. Just let me buy a dang product once. Like, that's all I want, man. Stop it. Stop it. I'm having that right now with my editing software. Like, every time I log in, they're like, oh, we got a brand new version. Do you want the brand new version? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm happy with this one. I bought like a lifetime thing. Stop trying to get me to upgrade. This is ridiculous. Ugh. So yeah, anyway. I would still say that Clip Studio is like good to use. I'm just kind of pissed at their business practices, so I don't know. If you want to get into digital art, you should just try Krita. Krita's totally fine. Like, it's very comparable in a lot of ways, and if you really want like to access like the asset store and stuff for Clip Studio, like, you can always invest in that later, but like, you can just use Krita. Krita's fine. Okay. It's so nice to draw. It's so good. I always get distracted when I'm talking, though. I know, all things considered, I haven't done that much drawing, but it's very fun. It's very nice to do. It'll be kind of fun to show you all, like, once this is all put together, because, like, I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff on the pages and things here. It'll probably take me a little bit to get this all put together, because I've got some other projects that I'm working on, but I wanted to make sure to recommend everything, so yeah. Yeah, no, there's, like, upgrade fees now for Clip Studio. It's dumb. Like, their Clip Studio 2.0, I think, is, like, a subscription service or something. Or I think it might be that you can buy like the base version, but then if you want updates, you have to pay a fee. That's stupid. That's so stupid. That's dumb. The live service art program now with a battle pass. For real though. They're like, give us money. Please give us money all the time. And I'm like, Clip Studio, you're one of the most respected art like programs that exist. What are you doing? Don't pull a Photoshop. Everyone hates that Photoshop charges so much. No one likes that. Everyone hates it so much. It's no good. Tangent the stream for real though. Yeah, so I would definitely say I would recommend Krita. And Krita, it's Krita. It's very, very similar to Clip Studio. And Clip Studio is gonna try to charge you a bunch of money. So like, you should make sure that like you're actually on board with digital art first before you invest in something like Clip Studio. So what else comes with the battle pass? Any benefits? Man, Clip Studio's over here like, if you pay us extra money, we'll actually fix bugs. And you're like, that's stupid. That should just be a thing that you do for your users. I think they'll fix like base bugs for 2.0. But yeah, I've got the 1.0 version, which they're apparently still patching, which is good. But like, ugh. I hope Clip Studio adds Goku. Me too. They better do it. We need that. We need Goku. Maybe we'll have some Gohan. I'll have some rice. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh my god, yes. Dead to Death, you are a gem. Thank you. That is the exact name of that stream. Drawing Let's Learn Krita Together. And it's from Ninomae Inanis. And what she does is she like goes through all of her settings. So she goes and she sets like her pressure curves. She explains how to set that yourself. She shows how you can use different tools and create your own brushes. And then she actually like does a little bit of drawing. It's fantastic. So yeah, I would highly recommend Ina's stream. I think it is like 2 years old. Wait, actually, sorry, it might be 3 years old. That was a while back. Wow. God, Ina's great. I don't know, she's just been like a really big inspiration and extremely helpful for learning digital art. It's good. It's very good. Yes, it is good to see fellow tacos. The takodachi. That's beautiful. Oh my word. Okay, I unfortunately am gonna like make myself go rest because if I keep hanging out, I'm just gonna draw for like hours and hours, which is good. That's fun, but I told myself that I needed to make sure I had everything ready for taxes tomorrow because I still have to go and like compile a couple more documents and stuff. So I hate to break it here, but I hope this was fun, y'all. This was really fun for me. This was great. Oh, good. I'm glad y'all added that to your playlist to watch later. It's really relaxing to listen to Ina too. She's got like a really good setup with her mic. So like hearing the little tap tap of her of her drawing pen is really good. I know. Oh, we'll have to do the taxes. I hate it. But I'm gonna get it done tomorrow. I'm gonna figure it all out. And if it ends up being too much of a pain with like, I don't know, having to get stuff all figured out with like extra YouTube income and stuff, which is a thing I didn't expect. Y'all are very kind. I was looking over things. I'm like, oh my god, I have like stuff to report for this. That's wild. And I was like, okay, if this ends up being too much of a pain, I'm just gonna hire an accountant. I'll just do that next year. But this year I should be able to do it myself. I'll brute force it. I'll listen to Galactic Mermaid on loop for like an hour or so, and I'll power through my taxes. It'll be good. Oh my word. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. This was wonderful. This was so much fun. I hope that you all do well. You know, like have a good rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Get some rest if it's really late your time. Make sure to keep hydrated. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, I just hope that y'all have a good rest of your week. It's been kind of a crazy February so far. Like, I don't know, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. And yeah, I just want you all to like look after yourselves, treat yourselves to something nice. Just, you know, be kind. Be kind to yourselves as best as you can. Gordon! Thank you for the super chat. Enjoy your taxable income, you goof. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Y'all are so sweet. Seriously, I appreciate it so much. I've like poured so much of this like right back into the channel with like buying better editing software and like buying a better PC, and I don't know, it's just been super kind of y'all. So thank you so much for hanging out. It's been really good. And thank you for your very kind support over this last year. It's been a really, really fun year with you folks. So yeah, cheers! Cheers to making it halfway through February. We're doing it. I can't believe that it's halfway through February already. Oh my god. But yeah, y'all take care of yourselves. And yeah, look forward to some more fun stuff next week. I'm gonna have Kivotos Quarterly next Friday/Saturday. So look forward to that. It will be very fun. I'm super, super excited for it. Depending on how that's going, I had originally planned on streaming in the middle of the week, but if I am really crunched for time, I might just do Kivotos Quarterly next week. I will let you all know. Hopefully I can. It was gonna be Volcano Princess. If that doesn't happen, we'll just push everything back a week. I'll just do Volcano Princess the next week, and then I've got some other fun streams planned as well, so it'll be good. It'll be very good. But thank you. I will make sure to rest well and prepare for the inevitable tax time. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it. It's all gonna work out. But thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!